umaga, mayad nga agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas in the Philippines. I have my morning cup of coffee here in my Coffee with Gino cup. My Copico Blanca. Copico Blanca is my choice of 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Copico Blanca is powder form, coffee, cream, and sugar all in one. This is my favorite here in the Philippines. Many 3-in-1 coffees here. When you go to the grocery store, you have like a whole aisle of coffee, whole aisle of coffee. Good morning, Ray. Hope you're doing well. Ray. I always start the live stream with the weather report. Vegas Will, he always calls me the weatherman, always asking me about the weather here in the Philippines. So I do not want to disappoint Vegas Will. As of 3 a.m. this morning, there's a low pressure area. I'm actually tracking it on my Windy app. So it looks like it's not going to be a typhoon, but it still hasn't made landfall. So it's still, right now, the low pressure area is 700 kilometers east of Eastern Visayas. My good friend Belus there in Leyte. It's headed his way. Rain is headed this way. Belus always tells me it always rains in Leyte. I've never been to Leyte, but Belus tells me they get a lot of rain in Eastern Visayas, specifically in Leyte where he is at. So today I noticed even here in Aklan province, I noticed cloudy. Actually, when I just took Leanne to school, I just got home, a little bit of light rain, not little sprinkles of rain. It says here, Albay, Sorsogon, Northern Samar, Eastern Samar, and then Cagayan Valley, Metro Manila, and the rest of the country. So pretty much the whole Philippines again. The weather today is going to be partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers. So pretty much anywhere you live in the Philippines, you might experience rain today. All right, let me get back here. Before I get buried in our comments here. All right, hey Dan and Neen Cook. All right, good morning, my good friend up in the high desert in California. I used to be stationed there back in the day. That was my first assignment in the United States Air Force, George Air Force Base. Dan and Neen lives close to Victorville, California. I'm out of coffee doing 3-in-1, same brand. Good morning. All right. See, I got people. You're not the only one. I know my good friend Michael C. He also does the Copico Blanco in Trece. My friend Dean, my good friend Dean in Australia. He actually has a cup. Both Michael C. and Dean, they have this cup here. I gifted them a cup, so they're having Copico Blanca in their Coffee with Gino cup. Good morning. Hey, Colonel. Good morning, Colonel. Gonna be raining for, yes, that's what it looks like. Ray. It's gonna be raining for the next few days here, since the low pressure area is coming in towards the eastern Visayas. So I'm sure we're expecting rain here in our area too. Derek, hey Derek, aloha brother, aloha my brother, aloha, good to see you on the live stream. It's cold and windy here in Victorville area. I remember Dan and Neen, when I was stationed in Victorville, it gets windy. The high desert, that was a surprise to me, because I was from Southern California in Long Beach, and then when I got my assignment to Victorville, California, man, I did not realize how windy it got up in the high desert in California. From like uh, LA County, Orange County, that San Bernardino area, you have to go up this, it's called the Cajon Pass. I mean, it's a good uphill getting to the high desert. You know, it's like if you have like, man, my Toyota Wigo, my 3-cylinder Toyota Wigo probably would struggle up the Cajon Pass if this is the car that I'm driving there in the Cajon Pass. But once you get up there to like the high desert, very windy is what I remember. Gets cold actually. You know, it's like it doesn't heavily snow, but there's some times of the year you actually it doesn't stick to the ground or anything. But we've had snow there, not much snow up in the high desert, but definitely windy. You got that sand, the winds. I remember my car, you know, it would always get dusty. You know, they had these California kind of like mop looking things that we used to get, and you would like clean your car all the time because your car always get dusty up there in the high desert. But I love my assignment there. I love that, you know, that was my first assignment, and many of my good friends now, you know, Leo, Busby, Kenny, we all still keep in touch with each other because that was our first military assignment in the United States Air Force. I was 17. Most of the people were like 18, 19 at the most when we lived in the dormitory. So we remained friends all these years. It's good that there's Facebook, there's Messenger. We're able to reconnect, and we call each other, we video chat each other. It's kind of fun reminiscing to our days when we were back in Victorville. Michael C, good morning, Michael C. My good friend in Trece Martres in Cavite. That was a nice place in Iloilo. That was a nice place in Iloilo. All right, let me see what nice place. I didn't catch it. Regarding that nice place I mean, Iloilo is nice. You know, I like going to Iloilo. That's like every time we go to Iloilo City, we always enjoy our trips there. Morning, Michael from Ray. When fitness meets faith, I know that. That's my good friend Ria in Tennessee. All right, how are you all doing? It was tough. I mean, last week was man, it was just like so. You know, the abruptness of it. You know, it's like you know, it's hard to accept sometimes. Like, you know, 1 or 2 days before Chloe's passing, she was normal. She had all the energy and everything, and then just, you know, the suddenness of it. You know, and then burying Chloe in our land in Catalan, that was tough. You know, that's probably like the toughest thing I had to deal with since I moved here to the Philippines. You know, I didn't realize how much it was going to be, and Dazzle was just devastated. You know, of course, for me, but I haven't experienced anything that hard, you know, since I've been here. And my life here in the Philippines for the past 14 years is like easy peasy, everything. But, you know, that was just hard to take. But we're adjusting. You know, it's been a week now. So Dazzle and I, we kind of like made a pact. We're just like keeping an eye on each other. We don't want, either one to get so low, you know, so down. So, and I know, you know, we got lots of videos of Chloe on our phone, pictures on YouTube. So we got great memories with Chloe, but it was still difficult because 11 and a half years, man, she was our baby. You know, she slept in our bed. We were always carrying her everywhere we went. We took her on trips. You know, we took her everywhere, Boracay. You know, anywhere we go, we always taking her to trips. In the car, you know, she gets excited in the car. On Bumblebee, she got just so many memories. So, but you know, we'll be okay. I know we're not gonna replace Chloe. People have been asking that if we're gonna we won't do that to her. She's gonna be our baby forever. You know, it's like I was even telling Dazzle, we were even talking about it. You know, she kind of like kept us together. You know, even when we dated in college. You know, dating Filipina in the start, there's, it's not the easiest, with the age gap, I'm older. Dazzle was less mature when we were first start dating, but Chloe was always kind of like the glue that, when you're not in a good mood, when you're not in a good mood, she was, we called Chloe our stress reliever. That was what we called Chloe, because she was just so awesome, so, but now, we'll be okay. It'll take time for sure. It'll take time for sure. All right, let me go back here. I don't want to get too buried. And I know Ed, I know my friend Belus, he wants me to get to my topic right away. I know he prefers me that I do my topic before, but I don't want to get too behind on the comments, Belus. I hope you understand, Belus. But I do have a topic. I know that's important to you, that I have a topic when I do these live streams. Breaking Bad. Is this the guy from Breaking Bad? My only comment to you, brother, I decide what he deserves. Only no one else. That's a line from Better Call Saul. Gus Fring, baby. Ray, all right, hit the like, hit the like. Colonel, Copico Blanca with a touch of condensed milk. See, man, I should be calling Copico Blanca, man. I'm getting people to drink Copico Blanca now. It's like, I know it's a good coffee. It really is. It's like, I've gone through many 3-in-1 coffee, and this really is, and I'm not endorsed by them. I don't get any payment from Copico Blanca. It'd be nice if they can like throw me a bone and like send me like a couple of packs of Copico Blanca, man. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Edgar. Good morning, Edgar. Starbucks replacement, Colonel. Hey, man, it's not bad. Per cup, it's about 8 pesos for packet of it. That's not bad to get close to like the taste of, get the taste that you want out of the coffee. It sure isn't like the $5 that you would pay at Starbucks, Edgar, all right, brother, all right. We actually stopped by your place yesterday afternoon, Edgar. We had picked up Emilio. Emilio, he's from San Diego. Dazzle and I went to lunch with Emilio and his niece. We went to New Washington, Aklan. We went to John and Elfa's, our favorite restaurant at New Washington. 2 orders of oyster sisig. I can't eat oysters anymore. I'm allergic, but it got finished, Dazzle, and then they finished the oyster sisig, and then grilled mangagat. Mangagat is a grilled red snapper, delicious, a nice, here when they grill the mangagat, of course they clean it, they remove the guts and everything, but they grill it, head, tail, the whole fish. It was a good size red snapper, and then we had kare-kare. I had the kare-kare because kare-kare is like a dish here with a peanut butter sauce. It's got bok choy, eggplant, string beans. So that's what I had because I'm more like the vegetable guy now. I eat more vegetable. They enjoy the seafood. And then we just they're staying at La Casa Española for a couple of days, and then they're headed to Boracay Island after a couple of days. We're actually gonna go. They invited us to karaoke tonight upstairs, Edgar, at the same place where we had the karaoke. So we're gonna go there. They're right next door to Gray. They're staying right next door to Gray. Gray is their neighbors while they're staying here. And Gray and Nicole got to meet them yesterday. But we knocked. Your door was closed, Edgar. So we figure we better not. You might be sleeping. You might be sleeping, Edgar. JP, hello, Gino and the posse. All right, JP. Man, your countdown is getting nearer and nearer for you to board that plane to the Philippines, JP. I'm excited for you. Ray says, hey, Colonel, JP and Edgar. J-Boy, good morning, Gino, and the chat. Good morning, J-Boy. Hello, Ray. It's a little chilly this morning after the rain. 70, wow, 71, 71. This morning, actually, I could feel a little, it's cool. That's the word that I'm trying to get to. Cool temperature here. Around 5 a.m. I walked outside. I said, "Oh man, it's nice and a little bit of cool air, a little breezy even right now, So, and sunny all of a sudden. Earlier it was cloudy, a little sprinkle. Now it's a sunny morning here. David, hey David Boyd, good morning, Gino and everyone. All right, good morning, GB from Ray. Top of the morning, Master Sergeant. All right, top of the morning from Northern California, my good friend Michael Manalastas. Attractive guy. All right, thank you, Hazard. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. J-Boy, hey Ray. Michael C. Hey Ray. All right. The Colonel Chronicles. Good morning. All blessed to wake up. Amen. Amen, Colonel. It's like I always say that, man. Another day on this earth is a blessing. You cannot take that for granted. Things can change in our life in a split second. One news, one diagnosis, one call from someone can change our lives here. Anywhere you are, right? It can change your life. So always be thankful. Always appreciate that you're upright. That you woke up in the morning and you're upright. Man, every day is a blessing. Every day. Already light rain here, seems cooler than normal. Belus said, all right, Belus. Thanks for the update in Leyte. JP, hello, Colonel Ray, J-Boy. All right. Philippines live video. Nice place. All right. JP, John V. All right, the alien. I see. I got the symbol now for the alien, and I got busy yesterday, so I hadn't added the other. I'm supposed to add more, but man, my day is just it gets busy. My day just gets busy, So I know JP, you tasked me with things to do, man. I try to remember it as best I can, but man, I'm just busy, brother. Like this morning, first thing in the morning, this gentleman and his wife, they're building a home in New Washington, Aklan. I've been communicating with them for like the past year. And I get a message from them this morning. Hey, Gino, we're in Calibo. I'm like, what? No, I didn't even know they were in Calibo already. He goes, hey, what's up? And then he was asking me about insurance. He's asking, I was like, and of course I'm replying back, but it caught me off guard because I wasn't really, the year, I remember them telling me that they're coming to Calibo and they're building a home in New Washington, Aklan, but I didn't realize, man, they're here now. It's like, wow. It's like time just flew by for sure. J-Boy, hey, JP, Calibo, Belus, and Colonel. Hey, Ray, my good friend in Sacramento in California. I got a message from him too earlier. He's forwarded a video to me. Ray's always forwarding nice videos to me that people share to him and he shares to me. I like the video that you shared to me, Ray. Good morning, my brother. A little chilly in Sacktown, in Sacramento. All right, Ray. Morning all, too many to list. I know, it's too many to list, man. John B, all right. Hey, there's Michael S, my friend and my brother from another in Dumaguete City. Good morning, Michael and Che. Good morning. Dolly, I just love your positive energy. Thank you. It's like I'm like this all the time. It's like in the morning, especially in the morning, I'm just like fired up every morning. Just happy to be alive. Happy to wake up another day and just look forward to the day. I always look forward to the day. I'm always up like 4:30 a.m. I'm open the door here. I'm waiting for the sunrise. To me, it's a blessing. It's a blessing each day that I wake up. Something, Jump V, all right, to all. Hey, there's Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. To all the Panay Posse, all right. I actually had some, hopefully we can get it soon, but I got some cups that I had made, the Panay Posse cups. So we'll have Panay Posse cups too, man. When fitness meets faith, I understand not getting another dog yet. The same happened to us as well. It's been several years and we are not willing to go through the hard. No, we're not. We're done, man. I know Dazzle isn't, Before Chloe passed away, Dazzle promised Chloe that we would never replace her. She's going to be our baby forever. And I agree with Dazzle. That's too painful to go through that again. I don't want to Dazzle to go through that. For me, I've had dogs before, but never like Chloe. Chloe was our dog. Chloe was our baby. Dazzle and I's baby. So people would always ask us before, like, how come you Dazzle don't have a baby? Why don't you have a baby? I'm like, and Dazzle and I would always look at each other like, we have a baby. It's like Chloe is our baby for 11 and a half years. And she was a baby for 11 and a half years. She didn't change. She didn't grow up. She didn't become a teenager. She didn't become a teenager. She was a baby the whole 11 and a half years. Nothing changed. I mean, she got slower, at 11 years. We noticed she slept more and walked slowly, but she was always our baby. We always carried her. She's always like on our shoulder. We're always carrying her everywhere we went, and she felt like she really thought she probably thought she was really a baby, our baby. It is, Rhea. That's why we'll sort through. Dazzle and I actually we're like together like 24/7 now. Like I do not leave Dazzle in the house because too many memories here. So if I have to go to somewhere, Dazzle always goes with me. So it's gonna be like that for a while. That way we can kind of keep each other, make sure that either person's not getting too down about it. Hello, Daniel. Something. All right. My 90 day in Cebu. All right. 90 days. All right, Daniel. SRRV. All right, man. Take care of your SRV. I know that's a priority, man. I know that's a priority for you, Daniel. So nothing wrong with that. We all have different priorities. It's like that's important to you. Take care of that. I'm sure you're gonna. It's not a hard process. Michael C. In the Philippines here on our live streams today, he went through it. He said he did it all by himself. Michael C. didn't even hire anybody to do it. And I know you mentioned you're gonna hire somebody to help you. So it's an easy process. People want you to get SRRV here. It's like the Philippine Retirement Authority. They have a Facebook page. They're promoting that. And it's not just Americans moving here. I mean, there's from all over the world. There's like people from Japan, Korea, Taiwan, availing the SRRV stuff. Some people think it's just like Americans or something that get that. No, that's open to anybody in the world. And many people, I'm on the page. Michael C. shared the page with me on Facebook. And almost every week they have a ceremony of like welcoming all the SRRV, the retirement visa here in the Philippines. And 20, 30 people in there every week is getting the SRRV here. So they encourage, they want people to retire here in the Philippines. Dolly, I'm sure the snapper, it was amazing. It's amazing. I got a taste of the snapper. Fresh fish is, and it's the catch for the day. That's what I was telling Emilio. I think he was hoping for pompano. But the way it works here is like whatever they catch in the ocean that day. It's like whatever the fishermen bring in, that's what you end up eating at restaurants in New Washington and restaurants in Calibo. Not a problem here with fresh seafood. Oysters, oysters still like when they'll crack it and you can eat it raw because they're so fresh. It's a catch of the day. They get the oyster seafood in the morning to serve for lunch. Also, that peanut butter veggie dish sounds delish. It is. Like I love kare kare is what it's called, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of kare kare. Good morning, Daniel. All right, Edgar, I had to start closing the door because everybody keeps looking into my space, looking at my couch that I bought. Hey, can't blame you, Edgar. Can't blame you, man. I haven't seen your couch, man. I haven't seen. I'll have, I'll have to check out your new couch, Edgar. Daniel, my 90-day stay was just confirmed. All right, all right. JP, I am watching James get his valves adjusted on the TV. All right, all right. I was watching the video, James and Karen's adventures, the video that they went to the mountain in Libacao. Man, that was some treacherous roads. I mean, James is really an adventurer, man. He crossed the river that, with this motorbike, but that the mountains there in Libacao, man, that is like uncharted people don't go there. It's like he's the first one I've seen ever to vlog up there, because like it's almost it's so difficult to go there. If you watch the video, you need to check out the video. Check out the video, man. Karen actually had to get off the bike, and James, he like gunned the bike. I mean, up that hill, and the road, you could tell it's like it's wasn't muddy, but it's soft soil, so, and I know that's like sketchy when you're riding that on on the motorbike, but his new motorbike handled it, the dual sport, was that XR 150. I mean it handled it. It got up there. There was even guys that were, you could tell there's other people that went there, but they left their bikes down below, and they were like walking up to the top there. But so it's like amazing adventure and the drone shots that James took up there. I've never seen it. I've never seen that view of Aklan River, of the mountains in Libacao. I've never seen it at any other video. I've never seen it in person. It's like they're building all those roads up there in Libacao. It's gonna be mountainous roads, crossing over to Antique province, but right now it's like there's so much road construction going on there. But once they build that, I'll finally get to see it. I'll finally get to drive my car up there. But right now, man, it might take a couple of years still, maybe a year before they finish that road up there. But amazing. I mean, I was like amazed at the video I was watching. I was like, man, James, man, he's just such an adventurer. Bolas, did you know that the first time you saw me, I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Morning, John. All right, Kim. All right, I'm gonna try to do my topic, because I know Belus, he's waiting for my topic. I know, and today my topic I was gonna discuss, let me just get this going here. I have notes, because my memory is not the best anymore, so I have to like always have my notes. I try to have notes so I can kind of, and the thing I was going to talk about today, that the topic today is money issues here in the Philippines. I'm going to start with, money's like, so broad, I'm going to focus on like when you meet a Filipina here in the Philippines, that you're in the dating kind of like girlfriend stage here in the Philippines. A lot of my expat friends, they come here single, looking to meet a Filipina. So I'm going to talk about the money situation, the money issue that I think is very important. You have to lay down the groundwork in the beginning of a relationship with money here. Many expats, foreigners, they get into a bind here where they feel like they become a walking ATM. They feel like they're supporting so many people, so many of the Filipinas family. But to me, the key is when you first meet your Filipina and when you're just dating, that's where you gotta lay down like groundwork, the rules. You gotta set the rules, how your relationship is gonna move forward. The common dynamic that I see here is usually the Filipina is working. And if the Filipina is working, the common dynamic that I see is the expat or the foreigner will tell the Filipina, go ahead and quit your job. Because, when the Filipina is working here and you're dating the Filipina, chances are you're hardly going to see that Filipina. The work schedule here, most that have a job here, they will work 6 days a week, long hours for those 6 days. They might get one day off. And if you're dating a Filipina, you'll be going like, it's like, I never see you. I never see you, right? And the other thing is, a lot of times the Filipina don't make that much money anyway. It's like, for the expat anyway, the way the expat looks at it, or the way the foreigner looks at it. Like if a Filipina was making, let's say, 10,000 pesos, here in Calibo, here in the province, 10,000 pesos a month, or about $170, or about $170 a month. That is a good wage here in the province. People are like, there's many people that will be happy to make $170 or 10,000 pesos a month. Many of your workers that work in Calibo, at the mall, at Jollibee, at McDonald's, different shops, cafes, they would be happy for that salary of 10,000 pesos. So to me, it just makes sense, like if you're dating a Filipina, like to tell your Filipina, hey, you can quit your job. I will give you your pay. It's not like I will pay you. That kind of sounds bad, right? I'll pay. That's kind of like I'll give. Usually the word that uses allowance. I'll give you a monthly allowance. Because the Filipina, there's a reason that she's working, right? Chances are her own, apartment, dormitory, boarding house, and a lot of Filipinas, that you'll meet here will have kids already. A single Filipina, single mom is very common in the Philippines. And a lot of times it's the single mom that are actually the ones that are willing to date an expat or date a foreigner. A lot of your younger Filipinas, I would say, especially in the ages of like 20 to 25, 20 to 25, they more likely they would prefer dating a Filipino, the younger ones that I see. As they get older, they get more mature, the Filipinas, they start looking for security, right? And that's nothing bad about looking for security. To me, that's just, even in the United States, if you're dating an American woman, they're looking for security too. They don't want somebody that can support them or give them a good life or a good partner. So usually when the older, the younger ones, I would say 25 and below, a lot of times, they're more likely dating more Filipinos than an older. Usually it's an older expat here. A lot of times it's an expat 50s, 60s. That's the age. And normally the dating arrangement here, usually if you're 50s, 60s, you're gonna date a Filipina, single mom, more likely 25 years and older. That's just what's common. Well, nothing wrong with it. To me, it's like it works. It works. Both parties are a lot of times happy. It's like a lot of guys. When we hit like 50s or 60s, man, we don't really want kids. It's like just to say the truth, right? If you're in your 50s and 60s, the last thing we're thinking of doing is like changing diapers and all that, right? So a single mom kind of like works, right? Because like, well, she already have a kid, so she's happy that she has a kid already. So that's a common that, both parties are happy, a lot of times. That's why I see so many relationships work, because the one thing about what I see with expats and foreigners, and I see this too in the United States. I had a stepdad in the United States. He's a white guy. When he married my mom, he was a great stepdad to me. I felt like I was 12, when he met my mom, when he became my stepdad, he like treated me like his own son, and I felt that. And that's the thing with foreigners and expats that are here. Filipinos know that. No, they know that. It's like, look at like Mike and Kat with Lara. Lara is Mike and Kat's kid, Catherine's kid, Lara. That Philippines life, right? Mike treats Lara like that's his daughter, and the daughter treats Mike like the dad. That's a common dynamic that happens here. Expats. Let me turn on the fan because it's getting warm here. Expats just they treat the single Filipina or the single mom, that whoever kids that the Filipina, they treat them like their own kids. That doesn't happen all the time with Filipino families. They'll accept it, but a lot of times with the single Filipinas, if they have a kid already, yeah, they're not like as far as Filipinos. I mean, I have seen it work where a Filipino would marry a Filipina with a kid, and I've seen it work. But a lot of times, man, Filipinos are kind of choosy. Filipinos here are kind of choosy. If you got a kid already, they don't. It's not something that they want to get in a relationship with, because they're thinking, man, I gotta raise another man's kid. That's the dynamic that I see here. It's just the expats and the foreigners. They just treat kids better. Like if their Filipina has a kid already, not a problem. It's like they'll embrace the kid, raise the kid like their own. Filipinos, not so much. I mean, it happens. It happens, but it's not the same. And Filipinas here know that. When they meet at a farm, they know. Well, they've seen it. They've seen it all. It's like on YouTube, all the expats, foreigners that marry Filipina with kids, they see the improvement not only in the Filipinas' life, but also for their kids. Like to me, it's a win-win situation. I mean, if you're a guy in your 50s or 60s, you're getting a family. It's like maybe it's not for everybody, to get an instant family with a wife and a kid. But to me, it's like whatever like makes you happy. It's like don't let other people like influence you on that. So that's usually the situation with the money. Usually when they start dating, the Filipina gets an allowance from the expat or from the foreigners. And then it'd be a good idea if you're dating, if the relationship is starting to get serious, right? That's the next step. Filipinas really, they don't really date here for casual dating. When you date a Filipina here, marriage is already on the table. It's like there's no such thing. Maybe very few percent of Filipinos will date a foreigner, an expat, and that is just a dating. That we're just dating casual dating. I just don't see that here. Here, the minute you date a Filipina here, marriage is on the table. There's not one of those you can date other men or you can date other women kind of thing. Rarely do you hear that here. Most of the time when a Filipina dates an afam here, a foreigner here, it's for marriage. A marriage has to be on the table, or else they'll just move on. And I can't blame them. Why waste your the Filipinos are young. Usually they're in their 20s, maybe early 30s. Why waste their youth on somebody that's not going to commit to them permanently? And of course, it changes once you get married. Once you get married, what I've seen, it just depends on the couple. Because now you're getting to a new territory now as far as finances, as far as money. Again, to me, that is so important when you get to that stage. The dating, when you're dating a Filipina, you ask her to quit her job, you're giving her an allowance, basically what she would have been earning when she was working, because if she's got kids, she's still got to provide for her kids. If she's helping the parents, she still have to do that. So you got that covered, right? But now when you're getting married, that's another dynamic. That is another conversation that you have to have with your Filipina. And again, the people that, they complain here, I hear it all the time. I've become a walking ATM. I pay for everything. Nobody forced you in any of that situation. Just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. Nobody ever forces anyone to do anything that they want. There's nobody, not gun to your head that's like, here's my ATM, spend all the money. There's, to me, a lot of that is the foreigner's fault or the expat's fault. You got to set the ground rules, especially if you're getting married. You're getting married to the Filipina. That is when the discussion before the marriage, you have to do that discussion. And it work, what works for me works, for somebody else, it might not work. We are all different. And that's a conversation that you have to have with your Filipina. How are you going to handle finances moving forward? Because especially if your Filipina is like the oldest in the family, if your Filipina is the oldest in the family, she's got siblings, younger siblings. That Filipina's got an obligation to her parents. This is the Filipino culture here. Family is big here. Families support each other here. A lot of times, she's the breadwinner, right? The mom and dad, she's the oldest. If that's your Filipina, a lot of times she's a nurse, she graduated college, she's the breadwinner. She's expected to help out the parents. She's expected to pay for the other younger kids' tuition, whatever she can help. That is expected here in the Philippines. It's not the same in the US where you get to 18, you're out of the house, you live your own life. Family is huge here. And a lot of times the Filipino will have that pressure, especially if she's the oldest. Everybody, all the younger siblings, ate, they're all like ate. They look up to that Filipina. The parents don't even have to say anything to them. Themselves, they want to provide for their younger siblings. They want to help their parents because for a Filipina, if your parents are like, let's say a farmer, a fisherman, to go through college, just the expense of college, those parents have to work hard to get that Filipina to graduate college. So it's just in the Philippines here, what's big here, we call it utang na loob. Utang na loob is like we owe it to our parents, we owe it to our siblings to like, hey, they help. You can't get to a spot by yourself here. You can't be a Filipina and graduate college on your own. You don't have work. Somebody has to get you there. Somebody has to take you there, and it's your way of paying back. That is just so common here. That's a dynamic that's common here. Even especially if you take your Filipina to the U.S. And I know many people in the Americans married to Filipinas that are in the U.S. Their wives will start working in the United States, earning their own money. You have to understand that Filipina, she will send money to the Philippines. She will send balikbayan boxes to the Philippines. Because she now has a good life in America. She now has a good life. She wants to share that with her family because she knows the struggle here in the Philippines. She knows the struggle here. So to me, like I said, that those kind of conversations, what are you willing to support? Before you marry your Filipina, are you willing to support her siblings? Are you willing to, like, if your Filipina's dad or your Filipina's mom gets sick, are you willing to pay for the hospital bills for your Filipina's parents? Those are the kind of conversations you have to make before you marry the Filipina. That way you're not in that situation where, oh, I didn't know all about this. It's like, I didn't sign up for this. It's like, come on, right? Come on. It's like, we've seen enough videos of the Philippines. People know what life is here in the Philippines. It's hard life here. Family is huge here. We help each other out here in the Philippines. Like me, I've never had an issue with mom staying with us. Leanna, I'm going to put Leanna through college. I don't have an issue with the nephews. I plan on paying for the college because that's me. That's me. It's like, I want to have a good legacy. I want to say, hey, when I'm gone, we're all going to be gone someday. At least I help people. I help Dazzle's family, which is my family now. If one of the nephews or Leanna becomes successful someday, all I ask for them is like, pay it back. Pay it back. If they get a chance to help another individual, it would be a happier world if people do that. If people like help each other out, help a brother out, help a sister out. It's like it would be a better world what we live in when helping and sharing. That's the goal. It's not, oh, I gotta keep all my money. It's like I'm getting buried with my money. It's like to me, it's like. But again, I understand we are all different. We're all different. We're all like we have our own priorities. All right, I did cover most, and if there's comments about that the topic, let me know. I'd love to hear your insight. How you handled marrying a Filipina, and how you handled the finances. Hey, Gino from Kimandal. All right, Kimandal. Hey, everyone watching. The Colonel, the JP, Daniel, JP. All right, everybody. Like everybody knows everybody here. This is awesome. This is awesome. What's the time in your country? Right now it's 8:13 a.m. Always remember, Gino, if a new baby arrives, it is not a replacement of a family member. It's an addition to the family. Yeah, I get your point. I get your point, Colonel. But for us, it's like we want to honor her. We want to honor her memory like that. That's just us. That's just and Dazzle had promised that to Chloe before she was gone. SRRV expanded courtesy is, in my opinion, the best visa option overall. All right, yeah, I've heard of it. I've watched enough of it that the expanded courtesy. I mean, for ex-military, it's awesome, right, Colonel? Because you don't need that big deposit. It's like it saves you all the money long term. You average, if you go on the tourist visa here, it averages about $500 to $600 a year to stay here on a tourist visa, which is still not that bad. It's probably, I think the only country that has a lower cost to stay as a tourist is Cambodia, what I've heard. Little bit lower than the $500 a month, but still, you have the language barrier in Cambodia. Here, you don't have that problem, and I know people are telling me now that Thailand is it's harder to stay on a tourist visa in Thailand. You have to like leave the country. They're making it complicated for people in Thailand. I love dogs, cats make me itch, watery eyes, and then breathing starts. One of my deal breakers for Filipinas is cats. All right. I don't see many Filipinas having cats. Indoor cats really. I do see that there's people that have that here, but not common. It's like we have so many cats in our community here. They're just stray cats here. Dogs is more what people here have, more than cats, I think. Morning, Colonel, from Michael S. Some of those roads up the Libacao are interesting, but the Colonel did it. All right, the Colonel, hey, man. I know James was even mentioning it on the video there that get the SRRB agent is pain in the butt to never reply to my email. One who is huge on YouTube, I would not openly tell me his fee with me. Yeah, for me, Daniel, all my life, I'm administrative. I'm like, I worked hospital administration. I'm good with paperwork. I would never hire an agent, just me anyway, because I'm good with that. It's like, anything that has to do with like paperwork, I can do it myself. If there's like instructions online, I can follow instructions. A lot of those agents, they just, you're paying for their service. You're paying for their service. JP, I will get you a car as a welcoming gift for coming to Calibo. All right, there you go, man. There you go. JP. Daniel, 20-30 minute sale pitch. Yeah, it's like I've never used any like services or anything like that, Daniel, for Visa, for anything. I can read, man. This is the way I look at it, man. Whatever instructions online, get a passport, whatever. I can read, that was my job. I was a medical administration for close to 30 years in the US. So insurance forms, TRICARE with TRICARE. I file all my claims with TRICARE. I've never needed any assistance. I know how to follow directions. Edgar, Cat. All right. Fortune. Good AM, Gino fam and the Panay posse. All right, Fortune. Emilio. Hey, Emilio. All right, brother. Thank you for joining the live stream. Emilio and I, we were hanging out yesterday at New Washington at Klein. He treated us to lunch, our seafood lunch at New Washington at Klein. And tonight we're doing karaoke. We're doing karaoke night with Emilio. The Colonel, Daniel, I use CNG out of Cebu City for my SRV. They were very responsive. All right, there you go, Daniel. The Colonel has experience. That always helps. Good morning, Gino and all. All right, Ted. All right, Journeys from Bohol. All right, welcome to the live stream, Ted. Fortune, like your maroon shirt, UP, US. Yeah, I was wearing my Ati-Atian shirt, just trying to get into the Ati-Atian mode because we're like about a month away from Ati-Atian festival in Calibo. So I figured, man, let me start wearing my Ati-Atian shirts. And I like my Ati-Atian shirts because they're good every year. They don't have the dates. When I buy a t-shirt for Ati-Atian, I always get the ones without the date. It doesn't have, it just says like Calibo, Aklan, Philippines. It doesn't have Ati-Atian 2024, 23, so I can wear it pretty much every year. Final four, entered the finals. Maroon, UP. All right, UP, congratulations, Fortune. I know you're happy about UP. Enter the finals. Wow, congratulations. I know that makes you happy, brother. Edgar, like these. Fortune, good AM Beluce, Colonel. All right, everybody, good morning there. Michael S, all right. The courtesy SRR visa is what I am going to get. All right, there you go. Edgar, JP, big finger hit the R key instead of the T. You get two now. Okay, that I don't get. Let me see. Let me read that again. Maybe JP, big finger hit the R key instead of the T. You getting two dogs? Two dogs now? Sergeant, have tried JRC for SRRV. Magandang umaga, kuya. All right, thank you, J-Boy. Kuya Fortune. Okay. Good AM, John B. All right, good AM, Ted. Wait till you're here, Daniel. We can assist. However, apostille your documents before you leave the U.S. Good morning, Fortune. Like and subscribe. All right, Edgar. Good morning, Fortune. Was the one who would not tell me. M. J was the one who would not tell. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, it's like we'll figure that out. When you get here, Daniel, I wouldn't worry too much about the SRV, all that stuff. It's like, it's not as complicated, it's an easy process, and you can get it done here. JP, Colonel, do you have your local police clearance before you leave the US? Oh, good question there, JP. I think Honda is coming out with the AD 180. Looks really cool. 1,000 Pogi points. Wow. They're leveling up, man. 180 ADV, man. That's gonna be popular if that comes out like that. Hello, my good friend in Angeles City in Pampanga. Kyle, good morning, Gino. Good morning, Kyle. Hey, Obi, long time no see. Glad you're on the live stream. My good friend Olson, Aliyah, and my good buddy Isaiah in Columbia, South Carolina. Magandang umaga, kapatid. What's happening, Panay Posse? A-OK, Sergeant. Maybe case by case basis. Oh yeah, and with SRV, with tourist visa, with anything government agency that you deal with here in the Philippines, it's a case by case basis. I don't care if you're here in Calibo, if you go to our government agency here, if you're in Manila, if you're in Bohol, wherever you are, they all operate at their own system. You know, there's not like a national. They have to like operate the same way. Man, everything operates here. It depends from area to area. You know, it's like I see it all the time. You know, it's like people somewhere that, man, it took me a day and a half to get my driver's license, and I go to another place. Oh, it only took me an hour to get my driver's license. You know, so it's just the way it is. It's the way it is here. There's not really like you know, they say it's like a national government, but anytime you deal with the government agencies here, it's like from place to place, it's different. The way SRRV is managed in Manila, when you go to Cebu, when you go to Iloilo, it's gonna be different. They're not, it's kind of like they have the same script, but they don't follow this. They have a way of doing things. They have different way of doing things. It's always good if you know a person inside that organization or that government agency. It's always good to know, you know, like a recommendation. If you got an inside person that works there, will make your life easier. Like if some of the people here on the channel have done SRV, like the colonel, if he's kept his contact, if you can get that contact from the colonel can give you that contact. Hey, I was recommended by a colonel. You helped out the colonel. Usually that works out here with anything you do with paperwork here in the Philippines. Like if you come to Calibo and you need paperwork here, I pretty much have like connections where I can like at least put you on the right path. At least you're not gonna go to like the government agency and stand in line, because that's the worst thing. If you gotta stand in line in the queue, it will take you forever to get anything done. You always want like somebody that somebody like hey, Gino sent me your way, man. He said he helped you with this, and it's, oh yeah, you know, they usually go, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. Even my friend Stevie found that out because he just renewed his tourist visa in Boracay Island. I guess at the Robinsons now, they moved their office to the Robinsons in Boracay Island. And to get his tourist visa, it took him from 9 a.m. and he didn't get his renewal till like 3 p.m. 6 hours for him to get his tourist visa renewal in Boracay. In Calibo, I took my friend Gray. Took us 5 minutes. You know, that's just the way it is here in the Philippines. That's just the way it is. And once you learn it. You learn it. The minute you do something here with a government agency, the minute you like you make your connections, man. You know, build your network. Build your network of people here. Believe me, it helps. It helps. To get things done here in the Philippines, you have to establish networks of people that, hey, I'll take care of you, you take care of me, kind of thing. You know, it's like, hello, OB. All right, Edgar. Good morning. How you doing, man? Hope you guys' weather has been good. So far, it's good, man. The last few days, but we're expecting rain, I guess, from this low pressure area coming into the Philippines here. But today, we might get rain this afternoon. Rain doesn't really bother, you know, here for us anyway. And it's like we're so used, you know, rainy season is so long here, July to December. You just get used to it. You get used to the rain here. Doesn't stop us from doing anything. We do everything that we do, fishing, swimming, going to the beach. It doesn't matter if it rains. Daniel, if they know you have money, the women will be on you like flies, get as much as they can. Well, not all women are like that. You know, maybe you've had bad experience. You know, that's why I always say, you know, it's like take your time when you're trying to meet that Filipina. You know, make sure you meet the right Filipina, because if you meet the wrong Filipina, yes, you're gonna go broke. You know, it's like that's the biggest decision you'll make here in the Philippines is finding the right Filipina, a Filipina that will be dedicated to you, loyal to you, will put you number one. You know, that's always important. That's always an advice I tell people. It's like, Make sure the Filipina that you meet is putting you number one, above her parents, above her siblings, above everybody else. You know, you're number one. What you want, what you agreed upon in the beginning, that's her priority. You've got a good Filipino in that case. But when the Filipina starts putting you like second or third, might not work. Might not work. LV. There's also another agency called RJ. All right, RJ. Weather is good. Sunshine mixed with rain. Yes, yes. Right. Good morning, Fortune Ted. Got behind on greetings. Watching Lynn. Dude. Dan Sorka. All right. Which documents need to apostille? All right. Looks like, Daniel, what I'll do, Daniel, I'll connect you with the Colonel. Colonel is my friend on Facebook. You're my friend on Facebook. I just got to connect you guys. That way, he can answer all your questions since he has experience. Also, Michael C. on our channel. He's a Facebook friend, a good friend of mine too. So I think, we connect you guys. That way, they can answer any of your questions, Daniel, offline. That's the best way to handle it. Since they've gone through the process, they own an SRRB card. They know they've done it. Been there, done that. They've been there, done that. RJ across immigration in Cebu. All right. What up, Ray? I enjoyed your shopping video. LV, good morning, Ray. All right. When you start helping them, you wind up supporting their whole family. Again, Daniel, that is up to you. You're the guy with the money. You're the guy with the ATM or the bank account. You set the ground rules early and you stick with it. It's like especially before you get married, right? Before you get married, you got to lay down the ground rules of, before going into a marriage. Like what you're willing to support and what you're not willing to do. A lot of times, I don't know whether the foreigner, whether the expat is afraid to make that conversation, but those issues got to be ironed out before you marry the Filipina. A lot of times what I see is that the expat or foreigner so excited about meeting a beautiful Filipina and they're so, I just want to marry you, and don't discuss these important things, finances, maybe when you're in the beginning stages, like the honeymoon stages, the girlfriend stage, boyfriend stage, you're not worrying about finances. But once you're married, man, that is so important that you're locked into like your goals as a couple, and that's all for me with Dazzle. When I married Dazzle, us as a couple was always priority number one. What's good for Dazzle and I. I do not mind helping Dazzle's family. As you can see, Mom lives with us. Leanna lives with us. I have helped her family before, but I was willing to do that. I let Dazzle know when we were set before I married her what I was willing to do and what I was willing not to do. Like, I'm gonna help her first. I will help her family, but I'm not gonna help family members that are like not working hard. Or if I see a slacker, I'm not gonna support that behavior. I'm not gonna be like an enabler. But if I see somebody working hard on their studies, getting good grades, why would I not want to pay for their college? I mean, I got the money. I'm not rich, but I got the money. If this kid is studying hard, wants to become a nurse, wants to become a seaman someday, why would I not want to help that? It's like, but because Dazzle's family is my family. That's what I look at. And then why not give a kid a chance, right? Why not give a kid a chance? Sometimes that's all they need, to change their life forever. Is somebody to give them a chance. And to me, it's not a big deal. It's like tuition here in Calibo to go to college is maybe $1,000 a year. So for me to spend $4,000 on a kid to send them to college, it's not a big thing to me. I would be happy to do that for my relatives or Dazzle's relatives. Fortune, good AM, OB. Scuba, all right, Scuba Steve, my brother Scuba Steve. Dazzle's still sleeping, Dazzle's still resting. I think maybe when she wakes up, I don't know, maybe Mom and her will go fishing. They haven't been fishing for a while here, but we do have karaoke tonight with Emilio, so we'll see if they want to go fishing today. I don't give allowance. All right, Kyle, all right. My girlfriend has a good job with an American company. You're lucky. You're lucky, right? If she's got a good job, I mean, you're lucky. But the common, like I said, more often than not, it's like I see that dynamic where the foreigner, the expat says, you can quit your job. That way we can hang out together. That's usually the case. But you're lucky. That's a blessing for you, Kyle, that your girlfriend makes good money. That she doesn't need your support. What's good, OB? Thanks. A little short video to have something to post. All right. Good AM, Scuba Steve. All right. OB. So you need to not show the woman that you have money. It just depends on like your relationship, man. It's like for me, I never had any problem telling Dazzle, when we were dating, how much money, how much my pension was, what I could afford, because I trusted her. It's like, you're not going to open up to somebody you're dating or your girlfriend, boyfriend in like the first week or two. Of course, it takes time. Dazzle and I, we dated a couple of years in college while we were at STI College Calibo. And we got married right after graduation. So we knew each other. We knew each other well. And again, before I married Dazzle, we discussed a lot of things. They discuss issues like money, having kids. We discuss all that. And to me, that's that's another thing. Kids, if you, I don't know about you, but when you're 50s or 60s, I don't know many guys that are in 50s or 60s that still want to have kids. That's a discussion that you got to do with your Filipina before you get married. They have to know that. That way, when you get married, it's all smooth sailing from there. At least you address the issue, and it doesn't become an issue later on. Oh, I didn't know about that, or I didn't know about this. It's like to me, that's the Filipina and the foreigner or the expat's fault, because so important to have those discussions in the beginning, or when you're, especially before you get married. And even now, Dazzle and I are married, right? April is our gonna be 10th year wedding anniversary in April. I'd make the talk with Dazzle the hard talks, and this is another talk that I know many foreigners, many expats, or sometimes the Filipino themselves, they don't want to discuss this talk. And I think it's so important. Talk about your death. Like, I'm 60 next year. Chances are, I'm in the fourth quarter of my life. I could pass away at any time. That's just the truth. I could be so healthy right now, and next day I don't wake up, right? So you have to have your talk. You have to arrange things for your Filipina. I owe that to Dazzle. Everything. I have a folder. I was in the military, so in the military we used to have like a folder of what happens to you, your will, your life insurance, who gets what, all the bank accounts. All our bank accounts is already, Dazzle already has access to all of them. So I don't need to be a lot. Basically, if I'm gone today, Dazzle takes over everything. She owns everything. That you got to do that, because so many expats here, they're older, they get to 70s, 80s, they pass away, and they leave the Filipina hanging here. They leave the Filipina with debts sometimes, credit card debts that the Filipina didn't know, or they bought a new motorbike on credit, or a new car on credit. It's like, things like that, man. To me, you got to take care of business, as men, as the man of the house, you got to take care of business. Scuba, all right. OB, hello, Daniel, Fortune. Almost Christmas. I know it's almost Christmas. It's amazing how we're getting about 21 days, 3 weeks, and here in 12 days, it's already caroling in Simbangabi. All right, Simbangabi. Yeah, opening of lights already. The 8th of December at the Capitol in Calibo. 14th of December, opening of lights at Pastrana Park. Numancia, man. I don't know what's up with Numancia. We're like, I haven't seen an announcement for our town of Numancia, man. Yes, the Christmas spirit feeling is amping up. For sure, right? For sure, Michael. Philip, all right, it's your second. All right. Not just Christmas, but New Year's. New Year's is also so big here. And then for us here in Aklan province, we got Christmas, like December 25th, New Year's, the 1st of January, and then the 11th or the 18th of January is at the Atihan Festival. So it's like, man, we're going to be like partying here for like the next 2 months here. Kumusta? Kumusta from Oregon, Lowell. All right, God bless my brother. Just got home from surgery. All right, visit. I know you're doing the physical therapy and all that, man. Hope all is going well with that physical therapy. Hey, happy birthday, Lowell, 52. Wow, man. Congratulations, happy birthday, man. Like I said, man, any birthday, any day on this earth, man, it's a blessing. You know, nothing is guaranteed. You know, like a single phone call can change your life. You know, like I've experienced that in my life with that talk. You know, that you get that talk from the doctor that you got cancer. I got the call from the vet that my baby Chloe passed away. And, you know, things change, man. And you're on a snap of a finger, things can change, man. Like I said, one phone call, one talk from your physician, you know, can change your life. So, man, each day is a blessing. Enjoy each day. Be positive. Just enjoy life, man. You know, leave all that drama, all that stuff, you know, leave that behind. We don't need that. We don't need the drama. I love that part. Bibingka. All right. I know, right? Bibingka and Puto Bumbong. That's like popular here in our in Calibo. We'll have that. We'll have Puto Bumbong. We'll have Bibingka. They're awesome, man. This time of the year, they're so awesome. Good AM, Lowell, Bibingka, and Puto Bumbong. Yep. Many of those expats who go broke and homeless. Of course, right, Daniel? You see, I see it all the time on YouTube. They always blame the Filipina. I got scammed. You know, the Filipina took everything I owned. You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, you're an adult, man. You're an adult. Come on. You know, it's like, I could see if you're like 20 years old, you know, not experienced in life. But when you're like 50s, 60s, 70s, come on now. You're not an innocent. You're not, you know, you should know by then already. Belus, you build here over budget, 40%. It will ensure that you complete the build from start to finish. Yes. I know that, Belus. Like, that's why I'm never, you know, I'm always hesitant to start any project, because if you do any build here, any project, any addition to your house or whatever, add 40%, add 50%. It's never going to be on budget. You know, it's not going to, you know, never going to be on budget. It's always going to be over. You know, that's why, you know, I always wait till I have really enough money, enough, you know, excess money to start any build or any construction project here. Yeah, you see that all the time. Belus just mentioned here, all the time you see houses here being built, and you're wondering like, what the heck happened? You know, it's like they're building a second floor, and all of a sudden construction stopped. Right next door to James and Karen, that neighbor, they were like construction. Looks like they were building a second floor. Next thing you know, stop. You know, there's no workers, you know, because they run out of money. You know, because it's always, you know, that estimate, when you get an estimate on the build, never spot on. Always above budget, man. You will be lucky if it's like 40%. I would be happy, Belus, if I had a construction project and they tell me I'm 40% over. I'll be happy with that, because I've seen worse over here. If US students have student loans, Pinoy students have utang na loob. Amen, brother, right? Thank you for saying that, Fortune. In the US, you got student loans to graduate college. In the Philippines, the student has utang na loob. They owe their parents. They would not have finished college without their parents. That's why, the utang na loob, you're like obligated. To me, it's not really an obligation. To me, it's the right thing to do. It's like if my parents sent me to college and gave me a good life, like Fortune here and his wife, like was able to send their kids to UP Diliman, the Harvard of the Philippines, and she graduates. Of course, she wants to like pay her parents back. To me, that's just natural. Repay those sent them to school, parents, relatives, siblings, right? And nothing will make a parent happier here if a Filipina, the eldest Filipina, graduates, becomes a nurse, and all of a sudden tells the parents, Ma, Dad, you no longer have to worry about the other kids. I got their college. Nothing will make the parents so proud of their eldest daughter if the eldest daughter is able to do that. When the expat is who started the entire issue by giving his money away. Yeah, it's like, and a lot of times, like Daniel, it's like, because of the age gap relationship, right? Most of the expats are older than the Filipinas, sometimes 10, 20, 30 years older than the Filipinas. So to me, you should know. I mean, you got more experience in life. Hi, Gino. Hannah. All right, Hannah. I recognize you now. You're James and Karen's friends. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining the live stream. Edgar, what does college cost a year in the Philippines? Average cost. It depends, Edgar. If the college is here in Calibo, like any of the nursing schools here in Calibo, the tuition alone, that's not counting boarding house, school supplies, books. Tuition here in Calibo will run you about $1,000. $1,000 a year for ASU, Aklan State University. Maybe a little higher for STI College Calibo because it's a private school, but about that range in Calibo. Now, if you really want to go to the good schools, like we're Fortune's area, like in Manila, now we're talking big time there. You might need a loan. You might need a loan. If you're going to like Ateneo de Manila, or if you're attending like De La Salle University in Manila, man, it's like them tuition there. That yearly tuition upwards of like $5,000 and above. It's like almost like US prices because it's Manila, and there's a value to your degree if you graduate in Manila. Like Fortune's kid, if she graduates from UP Diliman, the Harvard of the Philippines, she is set for life. People will be clamoring to get her. Kind of the same thing in the US. When you're an Ivy school graduate, job is easy for you to get. But even the colleges here in Calibo, like St. Gabriel, St. Gabriel College of Nursing, Aklan Polytechnic, my neighbor here, their daughter just graduated. She's a nurse now. She makes good money here in the Philippines, even here in the Philippines as a nurse. Of course, she's just gaining her experience as a nurse here. Her goal is going to go abroad because she's going to make a ton of money abroad. Right now she graduated here at Aklan Polytechnic in Calibo. She's a nurse. She's working at a hospital here in Calibo, getting her 1 year, 2 years as a nurse on her belt. But man, she's going to be a hot commodity here pretty soon because she's young, she's experienced, she's a nurse. Man, people overseas be fighting to employ her. She's not gonna have a problem going to Korea, Japan, in Europe, Italy, Germany, you name it. It's like U.S., Canada. It's like not a problem for a nurse. That's why I always I'm teaching that to Leanna. That's the path. I'm showing Leanna these people. I'm introducing Leanna to the neighbor here that that's the path, Leanna. That's the path to like a better life. Belus, many men blow money on fun, alcohol, even drugs, then blame girl. No women want to live with a drunk. Right, Belus. To me, it's like anywhere you live, it doesn't have to be the Philippines. It could be in America. anywhere, Canada, wherever, women want to be with men that could like a good provider, not a drunk, right? Not a drunk, somebody that would be like, that they want to have kids with, right? They don't, it's like, it's the same everywhere you are, it's like, true that, Belus. Hey, favorite rules, all right. Your talent is the gift of charity, Gino. Oh, thank you, Michael. You are similar to me. I have had many spiritual moving moments with helping less fortunate people here in the Philippines. I believe, I think so, man. I think so, Michael. For me, when I help, when a brother contacts me, hey man, I want to go to the Philippines. Can you help a brother out? I'm all about helping. Or the nephews. Like I told them, hey, study hard. Get good grades. That way, when it's time to go to college, you can pass the entrance exam. You can pursue your dreams. Don't worry about the financial. I'll help you with that, because like I said, I can't take whatever I've saved, whatever I've built, right? I can't take it with me when I'm gone. I'm mostly leaving it to Dazzle, but Dazzle has the same mentality as I am. That's why we're married. That's why we're a couple. She wants to help the nephews too. She wants to, because Dazzle understand how life here in the Philippines. If you don't graduate college here in the Philippines, I don't care what degree you get in college, you need to graduate college here in the Philippines, because if you don't, you're gonna be a day laborer here, and that's not a fun life. That's not a fun life to be a day laborer here in the Philippines. College is so important here to even have a chance. If you don't graduate college here, forget it. You're gonna be a construction worker. You're gonna be a tricycle driver. You're gonna be a jeepney driver. I mean, nothing wrong with that profession, but if you ever want to build a family doing that job, you're not going to be able to provide for your family. Emilio, all right, Emilio, thank you for the heart, Emilio. See you later, Emilio. Belus, don't try to save the world, but give and share what you can without break. Exactly, right? I've always been like that, Belus. It's like, I know my limits. I'm on a military pension alone, man. I'm frugal, so I'm not just going to give away my money. It's like, I want to help, but, you have to set limits. No money, max stress, then issues. Budget. Yeah, that's why I'm so frugal, man. That's why I don't buy things, man, because like I've learned that less is more. For me, anyway, less is more. The more minimalistic lifestyle I've lived here the last 14 years, the less stress I have. I have really like a very minimal stress. J-Boy, that's a good point, Fortune. Most Filipinos finish college without student debt, but rather a debt of gratitude to family. Amen, brother. I believe that, man. It's like there's no way Liana can graduate nursing school here in the Philippines without me. And her sense of gratitude to me when she reaches that goal of becoming a nurse, I just wanted her to pay that forward. If she graduates and we have a little nephew somewhere, they produce kids here. The Dazzle's brother or whatever adds more nephews to the family. I just want Leanna to like pay it forward. When it's her turn, send the next generation of their family to school, to college. Budget. Yes, budget, Belus. All right, Hannah. Hi, Colonel. Expat taken over a clan. Emilia said, well, it's not, we're not as bad as like Dumaguete or like Angeles City. There are, I am seeing more expats coming, but we're a long way. Emilio, from becoming a Dumaguete or Angeles City. Many years away. This is still like, to me, you're still, if you come to Aklan province, if you come to Panay Island, you're getting on the ground floor. This would be probably Panay Island one day. This will be kind of like Dumaguete City or Dumaguete province. I would say maybe another 10 years. Slowly, expats are moving in here. Lazy. All right, Edgar. Fortune, what would be the top 5 college degrees for the average Filipino student to get? All right, good question. Our Master Yoda can answer that. Master Yoda can answer that, Edgar. Hello, hello. All right. Hello, I'm new here. All right, Lazy. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel, Lazy. The Colonel. Hi, Hannah. Love Pakistan. All right. We don't get many from Pakistan, but thank you for joining there, Lazy. JP, Edgar, after further review, make the car a Pepsi Blue 4x4 multicab with 15-inch wheels. All right. I like that, JP. Thanks, LV. All right, great. Gino, great for you, but I never learned to write and read. That's funny, man. Yeah, I guess for me it's so easy, just because, that was my job, Daniel. I was always in administration. I'm good at filing forms, insurance forms, hospital billing, admission to the hospital. That's always been my job. So anything to with a laptop, with like registration, I'm really I can probably do their job. I bet you if I study it enough, I could be like an agent for how to handle SRV. But I don't want to work. I don't want to work, man. YouTube is easier, man. This is fun for me. Working sucks, man. Team Milker, good morning. You were talking about pets. We had 3 neighborhood kids come to our house the day after Typhoon Tino with a cardboard box for 4 kittens. The mom was lost. Oh man, that's terrible. Yeah, man. Here in our community, man, we have so many stray cats here. It's hard to catch them. I guess the stray dogs I know are security people. They catch them. I don't know what they do with them. But like the cats, they're like ninjas. They're like ninjas, man. They go in and out of people's houses. They go underneath the sewer. They're like on the live stream here, somebody calling them like teenage mutant ninja cats. It's like Kyle. I like the 4x4 multicab, but they are too small for me. My legs are cramped when sitting behind the wheel. Oh yeah, I know, right? Because you're taller, probably longer legs. Edgar, nursing. There you go. Thank you there. Oh, Ted's got the suggestion for you, Edgar. Nursing, IT, hotel management, criminology, and business administration. Those are the common. I do see a lot of that. That's like common. The Colonel meet a nice guy yesterday, 72 years old, and holding his 1-year-old son. We chuckled when he said, yeah, the doctor said I couldn't have any more. And look what happened. Look at that. That's funny, Colonel. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. It's like, like I said, a lot of men, 50s, 60s, 70s, a lot of times kids is not a priority. But I know there's many that are having kids here at a later age, because here I know I've done a video of it. If you have a kid here and you're already collecting Social Security, your kid is eligible for your Social Security. You get extra money per kid. So if you have 2 kids, each kid you get 60% of your Social Security. So it adds up. It's that's why I see people having kids here. Wolfgang, magandang umaga from Thailand. All right, thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you for joining the live stream. Ted's answer's correct. All right. The Master Yoda has spoken. Master Yoda approves of Ted's list. Ruben, maayong buntag kalibuans. All right, Ruben. Hey, Ruben, if you're not doing anything tonight, Ruben, we're karaoke night at the La Casa Española. If you're not doing anything tonight, Ruben. At 5 to 9, we're having karaoke. And Edgar too, man. If you're not doing anything, Edgar, you know, I know it's like upstairs in the fourth floor, but if you're not doing anything, more than welcome to join us for karaoke. And I'm sure Emilio doesn't mind. I'm sure Emilio doesn't mind. Emilio's a great guy. He's from San Diego. He's from San Diego, Ruben, a fellow San Diego person. So you guys got plenty to talk about San Diego, man. Fortune in provinces being a seaman. Yes, I was going to mention that, Fortune, here in the province in Calibo, for the guys, for the men here, the young men, very popular course here over at Aklan Polytechnic is becoming a seaman. And it's kind of cool, you know, because while they're going to school, man, they're wearing like all white navy, you know, kind of like, it almost kind of looks like The Officer and the Gentleman. You know, it's like that movie, The Officer, you know, Richard Gere. It kind of looks like that, man. You know, tight pants, you know, custom made pants, shirt, you know, kind of like you want it tight, you know, kind of show your muscles. And they got like that bus driver hat. Man, they look like The Officer and the Gentleman. And you see them walking around here in Calibo. Very popular here in the province because many people here from our clan become seamen, and they work all over the ocean, you know, all over the world. They're working in cargo ships. My neighbor here, he works at cruise ship. My other neighbor here, he actually drives a tank, you know, like the oil tanker, the big oil tanker out in the ocean. He actually drives it, you know. It's like I see him come home here once a year. He gets to go home for like 30 days. Great family. I mean, his wife is the president now of our homeowners association. This couple is like amazing couple, great couple with a couple of kids. You know, good people. Ruben, excellent topic on relationships. All right, brother. All right. Well, you know, man, I try, you know, brother. I try to like, whatever topics that people ask me, I try to bring it up on the live stream because I think it's important, you know, it's like, especially money, you know, money, man, you know, it could be a problem. It could be a problem when you're dating a Filipina, especially if you're marrying a Filipina. You gotta lock down the money situation, you know, how you're gonna handle your money moving forward, what you're comfortable with, what your Filipina's comfortable with. You gotta iron that out before marriage. Once you're married, you know, you start having problems with money. How come we're sending money to your parents? How come we're paying for the nephew Jun's college? You know, that is not the time to discuss it once you're already married. You know, that creates a lot of problems. That's why, you know, before you marry a Filipina, you gotta have like the serious heart-to-heart talks regarding money, because that seems to be a topic of discussion or a topic of disagreement. You know, topic of disagreement. Even with my stepdad, I remember my stepdad in California. His name was Earl. Earl Marks was his name. He passed away already. But when he was dating my mom, and then when he was married my mom always worked. My mom always worked because my mom was sending money to my brother and sister and my nephews and nieces here in Manila. You know, my mom always did that, you know. So when they got married, I remember even Earl would, you know, he's like, he sees how hard my mom worked in the United States. My mom became like a social worker, working long hours and all that. And my mom would never like buy stuff for herself. She would always like pack another balikbayan box. I'm always helping my mom, you know, but when it was in high school, we were always shipping so many balikbayan boxes to our relatives here in the Philippines. And Earl, that used to bother Earl because like, you're working so hard and these people, you know, well, how come you keep sending this? But you know, those are the things that you got to discuss, even with your Filipina. If you have a Filipina, if you're doing that, what's that? The fiance visa before you get your Filipina from the man. Those are the kind of discussions that you have to make with your Filipina before getting married. Colonel, all right, simple, like, all right, something simple. My good friend, my brother from another in Dumaguete City, Wolfgang, Michael, all right. Fortune, criminology, well, any 4-year program, but that's popular. But criminology allows you to join officer candidate. Yes, yes. It's popular here too. Northwest Visayan College in Calibo. Very popular here in Calibo as far as a course, criminology course, because you can be an officer, you can be military, you can be a PNP, Philippine National Police. You can join the military. They get the haircut, man. You always know the seaman here, the ones that wants to become a seaman, and the ones that are taking criminology, they have the same haircut. They have my haircut, man. In Kalima, they got my same haircut. 1-year mixed schooling and military training. You get commissioned second lieutenants. All right, all right. Hey, good morning, Wolfgang. OB, is there a decent steak place in Boracay, Gino? All right, there's a couple. I have not tried Wolfgang. I actually haven't eaten steak since 2016. I've given up steak, because there's really no, it's like they're Australian beef here. There are some good ones. I know Roombas in D Mall. They serve steak, and then Wolfgang, they just opened at Boracay Nucos, and of course your hotels, your big hotels. If you're staying at the Shangri-La or Discovery Shore, the Lind, they will have steak there, and a lot of the steaks are Australian beef. Glad you guys had a nice trip. Oh yeah. Boracay is our happy place, man. Anytime we go to Boracay, that's always a fun trip for Dazzle and I. It's our getaway time for Dazzle and I to just like look like very windy season there at the moment. It's normal, Olsen, like I said, from July to December for our province anyway, for Aklan province, this is normal for us. It rains, it's sunny, it rains, it's sunny. It's like nothing new, man. After 14 years, it's like it just repeats itself. It's nothing. You get used to the season here. Fortune, your knowledge of many things is off the charts. I know, man. That's why we call him the Master Yoda. Master. Oh, that's the symbol I got to come up with. That 2 symbols, Master Yoda and the symbol of balut. The egg with the duck. I'll add that to my custom emojis on YouTube. Thanks, Michael S. Maybe because I'm local. Yeah, and you just knowledge. Fortune's a banker. He grew up in Manila. National High School, Science High School, big school. He's a UP graduate, UP Diliman graduate. So very knowledgeable, highly educated. Fortune is very smart. Kyle, Calibo Immigration Office is fast. I know, Kyle. Even my friend Michael from That Philippines Life, he does all his renewals in Calibo. He drives, he takes his motorbike from Rojas City and renews here. He doesn't use Iloilo City or Rojas City. He comes to Calibo to renew his, and that's why I was telling Stevie he was going to do it in Boracay. I told him, man, just come to Calibo, man. Calibo, 5-10 minutes, you're in and out of there. And it took him 6 hours, 6 hours in Boracay. J-Boy, can't believe Stevie has been there for a month. I know, right? I mean, time just flies by. I couldn't believe that either, that he was already renewing, and already time flies when you're... It is. And Stevie's having the time of his life. It's like fishing all the time. He's swimming out in the ocean. He's right there by Tabon Beach, having a great time. He said he's not looking forward to when it's time for him to head back to Washington State, because he's not permanently retired yet. Stevie said he still has to work in order, so he's going to try to do 6 months here, 6 months working in Washington State. Actually, that's my purpose of joining these channels. Also, to help provide local info history. Yes, Fortune. Man, you're doing great, brother. Fortune helps out other channels. He's not only on our channel here. He goes to like several channels, always sharing information, sharing the history of the Philippines, the culture, because he's got a very good understanding of everything here in the Philippines. Thank you, Kuya Fortune, for your time. The Master Yoda is providing us great information. Edgar, always useful information that you help us with, Fortune. I'm from Pakistan. All right, another Pakistan. There's like the second person here from Pakistan. All right, welcome to the channel from Pakistan. Fortune, Master Yoda is our Filipino encyclopedia. I know. Fortune, if I had stayed in the army longer, I wanted to go the route of warrant officer. I have a friend I grew up with that just returned a couple of years ago as a chief master sergeant. All right, wow, that's awesome. Jack, all right, Jack, a long time no see, Jack, long time no see. If you remember when you took me to Calibo driver's license, it was funny. We went, all the computers were down. All right, I remember the computers. I took Jack when he was here in the Philippines to get his driver's license, and the computers were down. Thank you, Jack. I do remember it. Was told to come back when they worked. Do you recall what happened when we returned? I remember at the time they weren't issuing like the card. They were out of cards, right? So Jack actually got issued a driver's license in the Philippines, but it was only paper. I don't know if you ever, I know Jack, he went here to Calibo, then he went to, I think Cebu City after he left here. I don't know if you ever got your Philippine driver's license, but I know they gave us a piece of paper that you were supposed to carry that paper as your driver's license, because at that time they were out of cards. They were out of like the plastic driver's license cards. They were out of the cards. I'm from Pakistan. All right, Mr. Pakistan. Thank you. Yep, Gino. Sometimes the prettiest candy in the jar doesn't taste the best. All right, a good analogy. That's a good analogy, man. What are you cooking, Mom? It smells good. Mom is cooking something. I'm like, that smells good.
Onion, yeah.
Oh, onion. Oh, all right. It's like, man, it's like made me hungry all of a sudden. It's always good to know where one is from. Yes, right? Always good to know where you came from. Daniel, feel free and give them my info and email. Thanks. All right, I will then. I'll connect you with the Colonel. Colonel's very helpful. I'm sure Colonel won't mind, Daniel, if you have questions regarding the SRV. You guys can be Facebook friends. That way you can message each other. That would be the easiest. Christian, good morning, bro. Good morning. All right, Christian, my classmate. Christian here is my classmate in college here. We graduated together. IT guy. He's a good IT guy, man. Anything IT, man. He's like working in Manila. He's been an IT guy in Manila since graduations, basically. So 9 years now. He's a works IT. Thank you, bro. Thank you for joining the live stream, bro. Good, J-Boy, LV. I like the analogy. Prettiest candy. I know, right? I know. That's a good analogy. Doesn't have, the prettiest might not be the best tasting one. It's like a great analogy. We returned. We had to wait for a manager, and we're told he would be back in an hour. We waited for hours. I was talking to the girls at the desk for hours. Manager not showed. They just gave I know. It's like I remember that now. I remember, Jack, when you were getting your license. Here a lot of times there's a guy at the land transportation office, usually an engineer. He's the head of that to release driver's license registration, and a lot of times paperwork needs his initial. So when he's out to lunch or he's out of the office in a meeting, nothing gets accomplished. Everybody's got to wait at the land transportation office, because it's got to like initial off on something. There's not another person that initials off. So that's why a lot of times you have to wait. You have to wait. But like Jack was saying, Jack was like, Jack was smoozing with the ladies behind the desk, and all of a sudden the ladies were like, yeah, here you go, man, here's your license. You're good to go. You're good to go. And that's the thing, that's a pro tip, right, Jack? That's a pro tip. It's like, be kind to the people you approach here. Smile to them. Hey, especially if you're you're a foreigner. Smile at, hey ladies, how are you doing this morning? Smile at them, because you will get better service that way. Don't be the grouch. Don't be the grouch like, I've been waiting here like 2 hours and nobody's helping me. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy, man. Always be nice. The person behind that desk or behind that glass, they do not have any incentive to like speed up service for you if you're mean to them. If you're mean to them, they might throw your application. Okay, I have a seat, sir, and they might throw your application to the side. It's like kindness here in the Philippines works better than being mean or being rude here. JP, I would like to find a Filipina that has time for me, so I'm not spending my retirement waiting for. Thank you, JP. And that's a very common dynamic here, JP. That's why that's the topic today. I said that's common for the expat, the foreigner, to meet a Filipina. If the Filipina's working, the foreigner or expat will always say, hey, quit your job. I will, whatever money you're making, I will give you that money as your allowance. That way, because, that Filipina's she's still got to take care of bills, right? Or whatever, to live, but you can quit your job. That way we can hang out together all the time. That's a common dynamic here. I would say like 9 out of 10 relationships that I see here with gentlemen coming here single, that's usually how it goes. Edgar, the prettiest woman make it fun, but a beautiful woman with the right attitude makes it perfect. All right. I like your analogy there, Edgar. Simple, something. Live every day as if it would be your last. Live your, amen there, brother. My brother from another, man. It's like nothing's given, man. Like I said, a single phone call, a single text message could change your life. Your life that you have today could change in an instant. That one diagnosis, that one bad news, one death in the family, man, it could change. So appreciate, love your loved ones, hug your loved ones, say I love you to the people that you love. It's like it might be the last time you say I love you to that person, and you might regret not doing it. Always end conversations like me and my sister. We talk weekly. I get weekly checks from my sister in Houston, Texas, and we always end our conversation. Hey, I love you, sis. Take care. I love you. I can't wait to see you. We always end our conversation like, don't miss that opportunity, because you never know, it could be the last time you talk to that person. Stuff happens, stuff happens. JP, I am in the 4th quarter of my life. I think we all are. JP, I think I always use that term. Hoping lower stress, province life in the Philippines will give me into overtime. That's all I wish for everybody too, JP. And it's like a stress-free living, just enjoying your life, and hopefully we get to overtime. Every man has a story, Mark. Planned everything out. Yeah, right? It's like our Mark Thornton. I remember him. I watched him. Every man has a story. At least, when he's gone, the wife and his kid, they're all right. They're all right. You got to, man. You can't just like, unfortunately, even today, I'm on many expat groups, even as, I often see it, unfortunately, there's expats that didn't prepare their Filipina of their death. And when they die, it's like, they bought new vehicles, bought new motorbikes that aren't paid off yet, that all of a sudden it's the Filipinas debt, to me that's just like horrible to do that to anybody. True, Edgar. It's not a golden rule, but just a cautionary tale. All right. Mom is eating.
That's it.
She goes, let's eat. She's hungry. Mom's been doing laundry outside. Now she's eating her breakfast. As soon as I'm done here, I'm eating breakfast with mom here. Hello, Lowell. Hello, Lowell. JP, happy birthday. Oh, yeah, right. Happy birthday again. Happy 52nd birthday, Lowell. Thanks, J-Boy. Why is the pressure put on the eldest daughter instead of the eldest? Well, I just say eldest it's usually who's the eldest. If the eldest in the family is the son, usually that's because it's the first one that more likely will be the first one to graduate college. That's the pressure that that eldest son or eldest daughter. I just use the daughter because that usually is who marries an expat. That's usually. I rarely see like a male Filipino or even like a female expat here. There's not many. I mean, there are. There in Boracay, I do see older women, foreigners, expats that move to Boracay, but you just don't see many. You just don't see many of them. Happy birthday, Lowell. Thanks. Something simple. All right. Happy birthday, Lowell. Everybody's greeting you, Lowell. All right. I'm glad everybody's greeting Lowell. Not on the gender, but whoever is eldest. Yes, whoever. I just use the Filipina because that's usually who the expats meet is the Filipina. That's happy birthday, Lowell, from Scuba Steve. Okay, I was wondering. I was wondering. All right. I'm eldest in the family of 5. We all went to private elementary school. By high school, I got into science. I remember science high school. I remember. So free tuition. It's like to help the family, not paying. Yeah, big help to the family when you're a scholar. Here in the Philippines, it's called a scholar. If you're a scholar, you don't pay tuition. You're smart. You're like smart like Fortune. So his parents didn't have to pay tuition. Thanks, Scuba. Good morning, Simple from Scuba Steve. Fortune. In university, I got into UP Diliman. Again, free tuition. Then after 4 years, graduated, got work, helped in my family expense until I got married. But I give my parents month pension, not much amount. Yeah, it's still, to me, it don't have to be a lot of money that you've sent to your parents, right? Fortune, but it's more like out of respect. It's like they got you to where you were. It's kind of like utang na loob, like paying back the parents. Look forward to hopefully someday visiting and meeting you, Gino. All right, hey, you know it. We'll meet each other for sure, Michael. Matter of time that we'll meet each other for sure. Good morning, Scuba. My next 4 siblings got into UP as well. 2 in UP Diliman, UP Los Baños, UP Visayas. We all got free. Man, that is awesome. Fortune. Your parents had a lot to do with that, right, Fortune? The reason you guys were smart kids, became scholar, your parents had a lot to do with that. And your way of paying them back, honoring them, that, you don't get the place where you're at without your parents. Should I buy a Rush, Race, or Villas? All right, then. I know, Scuba. I've been seeing the videos that you've been sharing. The Rush, the Race, or the Velus. For me, if I was had to pick out of the 3, Scuba, I like the Rush. I like the shape of the Rush, and I like the extra seating in the back. That's me. To me, the Race, the Toyota Race, kind of small. It's a smaller SUV. I mean, you can probably, it's probably no bigger than my Toyota Wigo. Maybe a little bit more room, but if it was me, I would go with that. I like the look. of the Toyota Rush. The parents have Social Security pension for life, but that doesn't stop us from sending them money. We owe exactly. It's a symbol of respect. Symbol of respect, Fortune. I paid my own way to college with scholarships and loans. Graduate with honors in vascular BS, Bachelor of Science, but became a barber because pay wasn't there. Oh, okay, all right. And I think that's why in the US you don't have that dynamic of like utang na loob, like owing your parents, because a lot of times you got student loans. You know, it's like you go to college with student loans. When you graduate, you got to pay the loan back. It's your debt. It's your debt, you know. Here in the Philippines, there is no student loan. I've never heard of student loan here. If you want to go to college, your parents have to pay for your college or would have saved for your college. The government here is not going to lend you any money. Now, if you're smart like Fortune, there's that scholarship. There's that UP, University of the Philippines. It's government run, government owned. That it's not easy to get into UP, man. You got to be like top of your class. Your entrance exams got to be high. You know, it's like only the really smart kids get to attend University of the Philippines. Have to check how long the criminal background check is good for the Philippines. I can't remember, but yes, it's better to have and get apostilled before you leave the U.S. All right, thank you. Hey, hopefully Daniel's still here. Hopefully you heard that. Apostille all your documents in the U.S. before you come here. A lot easier when you're still in the U.S. Once you're here in the Philippines, everything gets difficult about getting documents in the U.S. I think Scuba Rush is cheapest or of three. Race is a cross hybrid. I think Rush is most practical, 7-seater. I agree. See, Fortune and I kind of think the same. And I like the shape of the Rush. I like the shape of the Rush. Nice, Lowell. Dazzle TV, Gino Fortune, and many others in the live stream make this my morning coffee and knowledge network. Very informative as well as interesting. Appreciate it all. All right. I'm glad. Good to hear that, Michael. Good to hear that. LV, 6 months, I believe, Doug. All right. Lowell, my parents lived with me. Mom moved out, but dad stayed until the end. I was his personal caregiver for the last 15 years of my life. That's good though, man, right? You know, it's like, you took care of your parent, man. That's very important. NBI clearance, good for 6 months. Yeah, I believe 6 months, but verify for raining here. Iloilo is it's getting cloudy here, so we might get rain here. I'm gonna try to move fast here in the comments. We're going on 2 hours here. I always try to end the live stream at a 2-hour mark. Colonel, how bad the flooding? Rain, not too bad. I mean, they didn't have a lot of flooding during the typhoons in Iloilo. Are you even real? Okay, Creek. All right. Said hi. All right. Ruben, hopefully it won't rain later. I don't mind coming to join you. All right, come on over, Ruben. We need your Elvis Presley voice, man. Ruben's got this Ruben got Elvis Presley's voice down. It's one must say. Ruben got it going on, man. A few beers, knock out a couple of beers. All right, Ruben. Looking forward to seeing you, brother. This guy, all right. Fortune, nice of you, Lowell, to take care of your father. Amen, right? That's like, to me, that's, you'll take that for the rest of your life. You took care of people. You're a caregiver. You're a caring person. And that's a good trait to have, man. That's a good trait to have. The range you're getting, TD Wilma. They haven't really announced yet. I don't know, Fortune, if it's already like a tropical depression. So far, I've heard low pressure. I don't know. So I'm looking at the Windy app. It's not designated yet as a tropical, but it's the same thing. Tropical depression, low pressure is going to bring a lot of rain. It's going to bring a lot of rain. I hope the posse gets to meet you one day. I know, I know. One day Fortune will make it here to Panay Island. My neighbor here, Mom Edna, my neighbor down the street there on my same block, the same street, was Fortune's classmate in high school. They were at the National Science High School, classmates in Manila. I tried to make a Yoda emoji for you. All right, couldn't get AI to do it. Copyright. Oh, copyright issue. Even if I tried, big smart alien, it's still blocked. Okay, no worries, no worries. Ray. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll get the Master Yoda emoji for. Yeah, no problem, Gino. I know. Man, the Colonel is like so helpful. I know it's not a problem for me to, Colonel's always like willing to help people. He's like me, man. Colonel's like me, man. It's like I'm all about helping people. Derek, I used to follow Mark. Feel very sad for Jen and Rogan. Yeah, I've watched. I used to like the Every Man Has a Story videos that Mark Thornton. Happy birthday, Lowell. I just turned 62. All right. Happy birthday, JP. Yeah, just turned 2 months ago. All right. Thanks, JP. Generation on me. Happy birthday. I turned 71 yesterday. Happy birthday, Jack. Happy birthday, 71. All right. Feel like on my fifth quarter, you're in overtime. You're in overtime, man. Playing pickleball, scooter riding around the country, beaches, nightlife party on. All right, tomorrow is guaranteed to nobody. Amen. Amen, Jack. I live with that thinking. No, not tomorrow's never guaranteed. Morning, Gino. Brian. Hello, Brian. Good morning. Scuba, make sure you get the sheriff's bogey evaluation before you buy a vehicle. Happy birthday, Jack. I was told that I won't see that age. Oh, yeah, you'll see that age, Lowell. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to people like that. Have a great day, Gina. All right, have a great day there, Michael, my brother from another. Take care, everyone. I'm getting to the bottom here, finally. All right, Brian. Hey, Michael. Hey, Jack. Lowell, you never know. I was told be gone 30s due to my family. Just be positive and, enjoy each day. Be thankful that you're alive. All right, Alexander. All right, said hi. All right. Okay, take care, everyone. I got to the bottom of the comments. I appreciate your time. 2 hours, that's usually my limit. Maybe next time I'll try to lower it to like maybe an hour and a half, to cut down on the time because 2 hours seems like a lot of time. Inga, brother. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for staying on the live stream, Ray, my good friend in Sacramento. Take care, everyone. And everyone, please stay blessed. Stay blessed.